Welcome to the Sands Expo Center in steamy Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the Cigar Lockdown Unlocked Show with your hosts, Sammy Phillips, Clay Roberts, Bill Paley, and Matt Booth. With an incredible lineup of some of the world's most exciting cigar manufacturers. Now grab your cigars and cocktails and strap in for this wild ride. Without further ado, here's Sammy and Clay.
Well, well, well.
Here we are, Sammy, day 3.
Feels like day 755.
I've had more sodium in the last 6 days than someone in a Himalayan salt room.
We are joined by an old friend of ours, Micky Pegg.
Oh, baby.
An absolute legend in the cigar game.
A legend and very tall and a presence, unlike many.
That's
Well,
not
I used
Clay.
to be tall. Then Omar comes in at 6'7". I liked it when I was like
Omar's
the young
a-
guy,
Omar's
the
a-
tall guy. Now I like the old guy. You know,
You're the old tall guy?
bald. You know, everything.
No, you look good, baby. Look at you.
Thank you.
You
Well,
know-
I get my style guys from you guys. You know.
Well,
I don't know about that, Baba.
You mean his Persian tailor?
Yeah,
I have 2 Persian tailors.
He said
Very
one
oily.
for the top, one for the bottom.
He said they were Italian. I
Do
met
you like
the
your
guy.
bottom person or your top person better?
I like them both equally.
I love it.
Sandwich me right in the middle.
So, baby, tell us about this. You know, give us a little of your history. We know the history, but we're gonna let you
no, I
spill
like-
the beans.
I'd like to talk about the history, but I just want to say one thing really quick that
Oh,
I'm not really happy with. So I happen to like Bill, and this Kill Bill campaign is stupid. So I'm starting my own campaign for the rest of the show. I want to save Bill.
That's nice. Well,
I'm here to save Bill. That's what my job is here today. All right, great show, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by, Mickey.
what did Carrot Top advise you?
What's that?
You came with props like Carrot Top.
Oh, yeah. I wish I was that talented.
That hat was $9. Please go get it.
Oh, well, I'm wearing that hat.
No, it's all
That
good.
campaign's been great. I
Yeah,
love
people,
how
Oh, my
people
gosh.
keep coming up to us like, "Are you guys trying to get fired?" I said, "You can't fire slaves. We have to,
Oh,
we
and then
sold
your
the auction."
tagline, he's almost dead anyways. I'm like, are you kidding me?
From Monty
It's
Python.
hilarious.
You know, Bubba, when we
Yep.
listen, we're not going to talk about LP. We're going to get listen,
Yeah.
Mickey.
Yes.
I remember growing up very early on in this business when I was spending
He's
my time
aging
with
me
Rocky.
here. You see this?
No,
He's
I'm
aging
not
me.
aging you.
No,
I remember a conversation between you and Rocky Patel when you were running CAO.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important for the people that are watching this show, all 5 of them, that they understand who it is that you are and
4
where
of them
and
are from
where
my family.
that might be true.
One's
but
your
where,
mom-
but
one's
Bubba,
his
where
mom.
you started, when you started early on in your career, then morphing over into
Yeah.
CAO, right? And then this evolution of you coming back into the game.
Yeah, I think it all started where it all started for us. You know, a liking for a passion for cigars. However, we had that first cigar. Everybody's got that first cigar story. Grandpa, or whatever. Sometimes grandma.
Yeah,
you
sure,
know.
for sure.
And that's what it was for me. So I attended university in Washington, D.C.
Ooh, baby.
Um,
It's all high altitude.
yeah.
Using the
and it was
fancy words.
Well, all right, the Catholic University of America.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the other side of the Red Sea right now, but anyway.
Oh, you are,
Oh,
boy.
you're on the other side.
Yeah, but I'm on the team.
Dead Sea pedestrian.
I'm a secret agent. You don't know that. We'll talk about that later. No, so I was working there, and then, long story short, intern, the senator's chief of staff would send me down to get cigars down at Georgetown Tobacco.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
David Berkebaum.
David.
Oh yeah, David.
Happy birthday, just turned 81.
Did he really?
Happy birthday, David.
Yeah, 81, 56 years in the business.
Wow.
And he still looks old. You know, he looked older when I started working for him. So,
How's Walter look?
Walter hasn't aged. Neither one. There's like a pickle effect that goes on in Georgetown.
They're pickled at
Yeah,
Georgia.
they're pickled. They just don't age. So finally, they offered me a job, and it was great. And I had a little taste here and there. I was talking to George Padron yesterday about the story. You know, there was like, everybody calls it the boom. I haven't come up with a better name for it. I don't really think of a boom, because I think of a boom, you go up and down.
Right.
I think it's always gone this way, and the trajectory just kind of climbs, nice close line.
Right.
It doesn't. It's never gone below even.
There
I
was
think.
a stabilization.
But
How
that
about
was an explosion. Maybe it was a cigar
Prolapse,
explosion.
if you will.
What's
A
that?
prolapse, if you will.
Yeah, maybe. But it was there wasn't sales reps. There was very few sales reps out there, and the ones that were reps were ambassadors of the industry. They were They were true ambassadors of their company. They told you stories. They told you how they came to be. They told you the blends. They told you those things. And what do you do when you're in retail, right? First of all, to have a retail job working at Georgetown Tobacco, I wasn't hustling clothes at the Gap or anything like that. No offense, but it was cigars. Yeah. So it was a learning experience. You know, to have that, to learn that in your early 20s.
Yeah.
And it transcends, as you know, we all appreciate the wines and the scotch and the whiskeys and all these things, these palate endeavors.
The good things.
Palate endeavors, the things, absolutely, the good life, as somebody used to say. And we're doing an event, and it was at the Cosmopolitan Club. It was a 10-course meal, and one of the things that David Berkebaugh would make you do, you always had to have your resume done. So when I walked around Washington, D.C., because I was an intern, staff assistant, whatever, I always carried my resume because they're like, oh, give me a call and get your resume over to me. Guess what happened? It got over to them, but they never read it again.
Right.
Well, Clay, thank you for asking for that. Here's my resume right here, and hand it right to them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I get to go to the Cosmopolitan Club, have a 10-course meal, drink all these gorgeous wines, and do all these things. I'm like, absolutely, and I think George paid me some money and gave me a box of cigars, just to talk about the company from a very high level. And then all the events started coming in. Like, remember Tony was coming into the business, Rocky was just getting in. Yeah. And then I handle a lot of the restaurant accounts. That was because if you wanted stuff for the restaurant, because you could smoke in restaurants. Like
back in the day. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So how the manufacturers protected their retailers, they made them a distributor of sense to that.
Right.
And then from there, Davidoff offered me a job, and I took over the Mid-Atlantic and helped them build from a broker sales force to a direct sales force.
Right.
Right.
And helped with that build, and it was just an absolutely amazing experience. That's when I really started to learn the business from a more of a behind-the-scenes aspect. Going down to the factories, learning under Hankey and Hochi and all these guys, Manolo. Benji, unbelievable, and they would tell you stuff. There's no filter. Like they didn't hold anything back, and we'd have fun. I was at Davidoff. We would have to take the appointed merchants down there, and you'd always get that one retailer that was really kind of a scotch, and they're like, oh yeah,
a scotch.
And we always do the fermentation room the second day.
Yeah.
So one time we get down there, I'm talking to my buddy Pedro Wagner, and I was talking to one of the guys in the factory. I go, get a pickle bucket in there. We're gonna need a pickle bucket tomorrow. They're like, what do you mean? Just put a bucket in there, and then the fermentation room, we're gonna need it. So if somebody's really driving us crazy, we make sure they add a little extra Bergal or whatever, and we take them into the fermentation room. They'd be the first one in. Because when you go into a room or a barn, at the door, settle for a second. Did he go in? Obviously, send it right in, send it right to the back. By the time they're running back out, they need that pickle bucket.
That's actually a great name for your next brand.
Pickle bucket.
Pickle bucket. I'm talking a lot of pickles.
Oh, we're too late. Espinosa just made it.
They probably did. And Kaisan's got a trademark.
Oh, man. No doubt.
2 seconds.
Right. 2 seconds, right. All right, so from that point, and then had the opportunity to go to CAO and take over in the beginning as national sales manager, and then be on the blending team with Huber and those guys and Tim. And Tim obviously led that show. It's just a very creative group, and built a wonderful organization, sales organization. The likes of Miguel Shodell, Brian McGee, a lot of these great guys.
Yeah.
And it's great to see them that they're still in there.
Yeah.
It got to a point. So Scandinavian Tobacco came in and purchased us. By the book, everything was a year later. They formally announced that they wanted to roll it into General, and everything had to go to Richmond. So I was the first to go, and then everybody else kind of trickled out behind that. They kept a couple of the sales guys, and it was textbook. There was no hard feelings. That was what it is. If anything, I should have read the tea leaves a little bit better.
Well,
it's like that old book, "Who Moved My Cheese?"
Well, that happened.
They did,
but you managed all of this well for yourself.
Yeah, it was tough, and I'll be honest with you. That first year, we moved the family to Nashville, Bali. You guys all, that 6'1", 14-year-old. She was born, there. I never thought there was nothing I was so giddy and so on top of the world, I didn't see anything else except for being with that family. And they made a smart decision. You know, they really did. There's a lot of other technical reasons we've talked about many times.
Of course.
Being sustainable with that passport style. And I went back to Philadelphia where I had a lot of friends and finished up my degree because I started my degree at CAO because John was gracious enough to pay for University of Pennsylvania. It's amazing. They get a master's from there. Went and finished that up and spent a year training in the financial world, getting my licenses and learning mutual funds. A year later to the date, I was on the street. A buddy of mine, Peter Sims, brought me into Lincoln Financial. And when I hit the streets, they just thought I was in the industry forever.
Right.
Because I literally, when I tell you I studied my ass off, I studied just the way we look at tobacco when we're down in the factories, the way we look at wines, the way we dice. I've seen it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Like, come on, Clay, leave me alone. I just want to drink this. You know what I mean? So it's you know, it's iterative. It's you and your scotches. You know, like, okay, you know, it's that kind of intensity, and it worked. And it just got to the point where once a month was really great, but as I said, the black dog was chasing me a little bit.
You know, Mickey, I think what's really important, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, is it's hard for people to understand now in the industry how large at the time, we're talking about in the early 2000s, how large CAO was and what a presence you guys were. I remember the Cuban Schmoobin campaign, and you were running that company alongside of Tim, obviously the remainder of the family.
John Huber, Mike Condor.
Mike Condor. You had a great team.
Behind the scenes, Adam Shepard.
Yeah, but unreal, dude. And I think that then I saw you at a Big Smoke. Clay, you'll remember this. We were with Alec Bradley, and the line was crazy. Hundreds of people in line. And I see Micky Pegg, and you can never fucking forget Clay. Micky Pegg. And there's a sea of people out there. It's wild. I'm like, that's it. Stop the line. Line stops. Scotches stop being poured. Pull Mickey and his mutual fund buddies in because of the way that you affected me in my career, my friend. And now...
Oh, you're talking about when I came out to visit with the Lincoln guy. Well, you're so sweet. When I saw you up in Pennsylvania, you've always been a dear friend, Sammy. So I appreciate it.
Bubba, now we're talking about
and we're partners behind the scenes, too.
Yes, we are, of course. Of course we are.
And with this model that we're doing, it's not genius model. I think it's kind of textbook the way we're doing it, the way we're building it. And you guys, no, that's not a problem. You even told me to go talk to somebody else who's a dear friend.
Yeah,
go get a feel, get the whole thing. Yeah. It's like I didn't want it. I love Alan, you know. But and I think that's what makes this.
It was right for us.
It's
right for you.
Well, it's genius for you. Make us look like geniuses. Thank you. So,
well, listen, All Saints, here it is.
Yeah, really proud of it. So. It's funny.
Yeah.
We're talking about what's the buzz around the show. Sumatra Wrapper. That was a blend that I worked on many years ago, and it had a Sumatra Wrapper on it. So you know,
delicious.
You know how to start a cigar. How to start a $5 million cigar company, $10 million in 5 years.
Yeah.
So in 2017. Go down and make the first visit. We do all the talk. I'm going to go on 18. Obviously, there wasn't a good time to go down there. Go down to 19, get it all done. So work on that blend, and then Amica, or Milcar Perez, as most people know, and Gerber Castro, his cousin, said, you might want to work the San Andres wrapper. And I always liked the San Andres wrapper. Man, we just called it a Maduro. We didn't have to be that descriptive.
Right, back in the day, sure.
And I'm like, this is delicious. I like that leather, that kind of a little bit of that chocolatey that came on there. So that's what we went with. But that original blend was that with the Sumatra. And a little bit more, I had some Criollo in that, Criollo 98 in the old blend. But and thank God it never made the cut because, you know, I have it here today. And we were, on my anniversary, we got a nice rating from Half Wheel. I was going to say, who gives a shit about a nice rating until you actually get one?
Right. I mean, listen, you know, you have a passion for this business.
Yes.
And you basically rolled the dice on this. You put it all in.
Yes, I did.
And
double down on 12.
I know a lot of the retailers were very happy to see you.
Thank you. You guys have been very gracious.
The manufacturer's like, oh, you're a legend in the business. And from the sales side, and now here you are with your own beautiful product. And you know, it's cool. It's cool to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be
as
here.
a manufacturing partner.
We don't spend
and
enough
friend.
time together.
No, we don't. And Mickey, I think that one of the coolest things for me, and when Clay and I talked about this originally, and we smoked the original samples before there was a band or anything, you know, you were going through that whole process.
Right.
The fact that you dedicated this to the people that meant what was something really special to you during your process, and naming the first brand dedication, that meant a lot. That meant a lot from where I sat.
Thank you.
You know, you took the knee, you tipped your hat, and now the product's out there. You've gotten some really, really good ratings, some really good press. And Clay's right, you are a legend in the business. I remember looking up, I'm still looking up to you. I mean it. And
That's
dude,
because I'm tall.
well, that's part of it. But listen, Bubba, I've seen the booth. People are coming by. They're interested.
Thank
and
you.
now you got a different. Now there's a whole new whirlwind, right? Because you're out there. You're burning the shoe leather. I mean, I talk to you. You're like, yo, dude, I'm over here. I'm this. Blah 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 blah. And then Clay's calling the reps like, where are you doing? Micky Pegg's been in 700 stores today. Where are you?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like Micky Pegg did the entire Western United States yesterday. Where are you?
Yeah, I go out for about 2 weeks to 3 weeks at a time. So it's a little bit easier to have everything in the car. Part of it was because of COVID, but even COVID didn't happen, I'd still work that way because everything's in that car.
It's how you're programmed,
yeah,
bro.
I just
Right.
go and run and it's been fun.
And I think as far as the lockdown packs go, the unlocked pack, it's interesting
Thank you
to
so
have.
much for inviting
it's
us
our
to be a
pleasure,
part of
Bubba.
it. Thank you.
Mickey, you are
That's very gracious.
you are the epitome of a brick and mortar supporter. You're out in brick and mortar all the time. This is about brick and mortar retail, and then of course supporting this wonderful trade show that we've been coming to, which seems like forever.
Yeah.
But I think what's really important is these packs are mixed with legacy brands, Rocky Patel,
Right.
Arturo Fuente, Perdomo. These are 20-year-old brands.
Right.
And some are 30 years old, some 100 years old.
Some 125. Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
So to have a newer company, you're not newer to the business, but you're newer to this side of the business.
Yes.
And to have you in the pack and let the consumers try something from the new entrants into the business, I think it's really fun, mixed in with everybody else.
It's a
And
blessing
very
on our part.
rare to see that.
we couldn't be more grateful.
Mickey, we thought it was really important that we looked at every scope of the trade show, and we looked at larger brands, we looked at smaller brands, and that everybody gave it a shot. And when Clay and I talked about that, we didn't know if there was going to be pushback. Some of these brands I'd never even heard of, but I couldn't be happier to have the smaller companies with the larger companies in the pack and support a brick and mortar retail, because it opens up the door, right? Somebody's going to pick up that dedication, try it for the very first time, and fall in love with what it is that you're doing.
Right.
And I've smoked the cigars more time than I can count.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I love what you guys are doing. And I'm excited about the future for all of us.
You know
Well,
what I'm
thank you.
excited about?
Well, I'm excited also from a standpoint to spend time with people I like being around.
That helps.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's at a partnership level or whether it's the retailers. I mean, to see some of these people I haven't seen in so long. It's just, it's been a little emotional. It's been great.
Well, listen, there's a little game we like to play here on the Unlock Show. So
Ooh.
pick a card out of the jar.
Oh, my
There's
God.
nothing bad in there. Don't worry.
I usually know this stuff before it happens.
It's very
No.
very PG.
It's
which
very
you
mild.
typically are not.
We're going to do an after
No,
hours
that's
one
goofy.
with the blue
Oh,
cards.
yeah, he's PG.
If you see a blue card in there, don't grab it.
Okay.
So read out your question.
Let's see. Huh. Your dream vacation destination.
Oh, baby.
Sammy's bedroom.
Huh, tonight's the night.
A dream.
Well,
not a
he's
nightmare.
here. I'm sorry about that. My dream destination vacation. Believe it or not, you know, we've traveled, especially when we're building brands all around the world. Well, mostly Western Europe and all these. I studied in Sweden. I studied in Paris. I studied in London.
Bougie. That's it?
Well, the funny thing is we got to do it because Jono was paying for my education
Right.
before I was international, and I was meeting with our distributors too. So we're killing two birds with one.
But what's the
And that-
destination? Where is it? It's got to be somewhere in
It's
your
got to be.
soul.
It is Ireland.
Oh,
Nice.
And I
the
will
Emerald
tell
Isle, baby.
my wife's family has a lot of heritage there. I have a lot of heritage from there, and it's just one of those beautiful places that I've just never been to. That just kind of missed it. And I think if I'm going to do anything, and I want to do it with my family. You know, my kids are getting old.
Of course.
And I want to go to, and there's a couple places that specifically I'd like to go up to Ballyliffin, where my father-in-law is a member of that club up there.
Yeah.
And it's just it's the highest point north, and that's where the Tierneys are from. I want to go to Galway.
Yeah.
My birthday was
fantastic place.
Fowler, and I want to go there. And then there's all these other places, Card, and all these other
So
places.
Ireland is the dream.
Ireland's
spot.
Yeah, that's the
Maybe.
dream. Yeah, now if you ask my kids, they'll say
Well,
Hawaii or Tahiti or something
yeah.
like that, a little bit more exotic.
Right.
I'm like, honey, I got to get back to work to pay for this trip.
That's
So
right.
We can't be gone for too long.
Well, listen, folks, it's been a pleasure to have Micky on
Thank you.
to welcome you back in the room with your family.
Baby's
I couldn't ask.
back.
Thank
And
you.
on the other side of the business, as a manufacturer,
Yes.
the All Saints
Brand
brand,
owner, yeah. Thank you.
you'll be able to try the All Saints cigar in your lockdown packs.
Thank you.
And I can't be excited to have you here with us, brother.
Thanks for having me. This has been
Welcome
great.
home, baby.
Mickey,
It's great to be
welcome.
home and
Welcome
to see your
home.
your beautiful faces. This has been great.
We love you, brother. Thank
Thank
you so
you
much.
very much, Bubba. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.